Imagine a gold rush effort halted by damaged excavators, crew members, and other potential roadblocks, disagreements, or the rare financial setback. However, this is not the case for Parker Schnabel, who has made a name for himself by consistently surpassing his opponents in effort and intelligence. The strike was not delivered by mechanical failure or human error. Nature herself was the cause. Already, the Klondike mining season was not going well. Totals for gold fell. Due to the unpredictable weather, Parker was exerting more pressure than ever before on his crew in an effort to regain lost ground. A relentless Klondike monsoon, however, erased all progress in a few days and left him facing one of the most excruciating shutdowns he had ever experienced. As it waited to be processed, every shovel of paid dirt was soaked by 3 consecutive days of severe rain, which soaked Parker's claim. In the beginning, the crew persisted in their work in the hopes that the weather would eventually pass. Their gold-rich earth had been subtly turned into a sticky, soggy slop by the rain, which they were blissfully unaware of. Just the rain was terrible. In contrast, the presence of wet pay soil in a gold wash plant has the effect of completely halting all operations. The muck, which had previously flowed freely through the facility, began to clog the system, resulting in belts and chutes that reduced production to a trickle. Mitch Blask, who was Parker's mechanic and right-hand man, rushes at him with a dire warning, a scenario befitting the mayhem of the gold rush. Put an end to churning out damp dirt. Parker is taken by surprise as he continues to ensure the smooth operation of the factory. The additional water from the wash facility is worsening the already saturated material, according to Mitch. Production is stifled and equipment damage is possible due to the moist debris blocking the system. Seeing the issue firsthand, Parker quickly rushes over. Even this little, difficult price is justified just by looking at the backed-up paid dirt. He makes an unusual move. He takes the blame while muttering curse words and shaking his head. He freely confesses, "I messed up," despite the fact that he knows his decision to keep racing the dirt has wasted time and could have cost him a significant amount of money this season. Day after day matters in the brutal Yukon gold mining industry. Short seasons, unpredictable weather, and razor-thin profit margins characterize this industry. A closure of this kind may have a severe effect on Parker's operations, which depend on processing thousands of yards of pay dirt weekly. The sole workable alternative is laid out by Mitch. After draining the plant of any excess water, run it again after it has dried. Although it may not seem complicated, it could result in several days or even weeks of inactivity. Parker simply cannot afford to take that chance in the Klondike, where winter can strike at any moment. Is there a method Parker can get around the shutdown? Fans know that Parker Schnabel has a safety net for doing miraculous comebacks, as this is not his first rodeo. Nevertheless, this obstacle is unique. Finding a new tool or bringing in more help isn't the only thing that's needed. It's all about discovering dry pay soil in the midst of a flooded claim. In the absence of a replacement material source, his wash plant will remain dormant. Additionally, there is no gold in the jar on days when there is silence. That is disappointing news for someone who takes great pleasure in being the Klondike's hardest working miner. The season continues, and with it comes the dreadful question of Parker's operation and the ticking of the clock. Is this going to be the trigger that causes Mother Nature to take control? On the other hand, can Parker discover a method to rescue himself from the muck and get back into the hunt for gold? Gold Rush has immersed millions of people in the modern gold mining industry for more than 10 years. In this world, one season can make or break a person's fortune. The story revolves around Parker Schnabel, a motivated and sharp-tongued youngster who began his career in the Klondike as a teenager and went on to become one of its most prominent figures. Parker has faced every challenge that the mining business has to offer with an equal measure of technical expertise, sheer stubbornness, and grit. The continual burden of running a million-dollar operation, broken machines, poor ground, and a shrinking workforce morale, while being recorded by the cameras. Despite all the difficulties caused by people, Parker has never faced his toughest competitor in the form of a small-scale problem or a broken piece of machinery. Mother Nature has been and will continue to be his greatest enemy. An ageless aspiration is the bedrock of the Gold Rush series. The belief that one may literally mine the earth for riches provided they have the will, the means, and some good fortune. For countless, it was the promise of a better life in California, the Yukon, and Alaska. And it's easy to understand why during the massive gold rushes of the 19th century. Even in the modern economic climate, the allure of gold is as powerful as it has been for millennia. With a whopping 500% gain in the last 19 years, prices have been hovering around $1,800 per ounce in recent years. Values like these motivate miners like Parker, who are aware that a record-breaking season or a catastrophic loss can hinge on the outcome of a handful of fruitful weeks. On the other hand, finding gold is never simple, and there are usually repercussions to it. Bad terrain can have far-reaching consequences for miners. Gravel that is too frozen to be dug, layers of dirt that cover up the previous layer, or small nuggets of gold that are almost hard to extract from the clay. The weather is the single most unpredictable factor in the Klondike, where Parker operations. Even a week of heavy rain can transform your hard-earned dirt into a useless mush. The upper layers of the ground can be solidified by a single September cold snap, causing crews to shut down weeks ahead of plan. Even in ideal conditions, rivers can overflow, access roads can be washed away by erosion, and unstable hillsides can give way under the strain of mining machinery. Furthermore, Mother Nature cannot be outspent or negotiated with, in contrast to human adversaries. The miners are left with little choice but to adjust to her schedule or return home empty-handed. Finding gold is only half the story of mining. The other half is shifting dirt. Plus, there's a cost to shifting the planet. The website earthworks.org states that, among the world's most destructive industries, modern gold mining ranks high. Lead, arsenic, and mercury can all end up in water supplies if this process is carried out. Destroying habitats, upsetting ecosystems, and displacing long-lived species are all possible outcomes. The numbers are depressing. 20 tons of garbage are produced during the production of one gold wedding ring, according to Earthworks. Take that number and multiply it by the pounds. With each passing season, the magnitude of the environmental impact becomes more apparent, and Parker's group strives to recover. Even though Gold Rush shows the ups and downs of mining as seen through the eyes of humans, the show doesn't always show the lasting effects of the industry. Along with cleanup day festivities, there are tailings piles, diverted waterways, and disturbed habitats. There is real, tangible friction between miners and the natural world. Gold Rush has encountered several real-life challenges. Negative reaction. The Board of County Commissioners in one Colorado town was sued by a town's inhabitants in 2017 for permitting the filming of the Gold Rush in their town. The crew was accused of causing damage to the area's natural ecosystem, disturbing the artwork with 24-hour machinery, and destroying part of a nearby hill. A black bear was killed and heavy machinery was driven through what could have been salmon habitat, according to reports in the Oregonian from earlier in 2011. The controversy highlights a reality that the mining industry is well aware of. The ecosystem pays a price for every ounce of gold mined, and sometimes the soil has multiple ways of getting its revenge. Every season is like a sprint to the finish line for Parker. The Klondike mining window is rather little, lasting only a few months from the end of spring thaw to the beginning of fall's first hard freeze. That valuable time is eaten away with each storm, with each equipment failure, and with each day that severe weather causes. More workers, better equipment, or more land might be his. Nature, however, retains ultimate authority, and none of that can alter that. The ground becomes inundated whenever it rains. The purchased dirt gets locked up when the frost hits. And whether there's gold in the ground or not, the business ceases when wildlife laws or environmental restrictions demand it. Parker's triumph is all the more compelling because of this relentless strain. To him, every ounce is more than simply overcoming difficult terrain or technical issues. Defeating an opponent who is far more patient, stronger, and older than any human competition is an incredible feat. Both the cameras documenting the Gold Rush and Parker Schnabel will continue their pursuit of the precious metal. Miners will continue to be lured into far, harsh regions by the price, and a fortunate few will become wealthy. Mother Nature will always be there to tell them who's boss, regardless of how talented the crew is, how far they get in their technological pursuits, or how dedicated the miner may be. Tony beats or a malfunctioning wash plant aren't Parker's biggest enemy. The land is the thing. Furthermore, the one certainty in this conflict is that nature will ultimately prevail. Would you like to know what I want? May I inquire what you require? Please tell me. Please tell me. Please tell me. Specify your desires to me. Can you tell me what I need? Please tell me. Let me know.